everyone, nice to have you with me for the next little while. Today's subject is fuel additives. Now this is a very contentious subject because some people will swear by them a lot. And I think that fuel additives do have a role to play. I mean, there's so many, you go to any motorcycle shop or auto parts store and you will just see rows and rows and rows of fuel additives. Some, of course, are better than others. There's no doubt about that. But the thing that's interesting, it's a little bit like a video that I did last year about octane. I think a lot of it is the placebo effect. Now, the reason I say that is there was an experiment done, I think it was 9 or 10 years ago now, where a very well-known marketing company decided to go to the Amsterdam Auto Show. And for this, they tried to do an experiment. Basically, the experiment was they designed a bottle. They came up with a nice label, advertising, point of sales material. They started some social media stuff on Instagram and Facebook. And inside the bottles, all they put was regular fuel with a dye so it could look different. And it was a clear bottle. And they had salespeople that were pushing it. Now, to get people to try it, they gave an incentive. The incentive was if you filled out a questionnaire and sent it in either by the internet or by post, they would give you 50 euros. And it was quite successful, and they had something to the mark of almost 2,000 people that responded back. Now, what's interesting, and I mentioned again, it was just regular fuel, and they put a coloring in it. 80% of the people that wrote back said that there was a much better performance on their car / motorcycle than there was before adding it to the fuel in the tank. So essentially, they added fuel with a dye that had no effect whatsoever, and they believed that there was better performance and the engine was running better. This just goes to show how much the placebo effect can affect people's judgment. Now, with fuel additives, the reason why I say I'm very suspect for many of them is it is a very unregulated industry. Basically, anybody can come up with a fuel additive and make all kinds of claims. And because it is unregulated, there is no proof, let's say, on how these fuel additives actually work. And you know as well as I do, marketing plays a very big role in this. I mean, it's just like, for example, with high-performance fuels for most regular cars or motorcycles, it's just not going to make any difference whatsoever. People will believe that it does because of the marketing that's involved. Marketing is a very, very powerful tool. So, as I said, it's not all. So, there are certain circumstances, of course, where fuel additives will play a crucial part in the performance of the engine. Especially on older engines and carbureted engines or cars and motorcycles that have been sitting there for a long time and they haven't been used. It does actually play an important part. Very often when you go to petrol stations, here in Taiwan, like in many parts of the world, they're always trying to upsell. And you think about it, the profit margin on a fuel additive. There are some fuel additives, and I'm just going to use a baseline price that can sell anywhere between 10 euros all the way up to 35 euros for a bottle which is 250 milliliters. Now, when you compare that to fuel prices, yeah, it is a big money maker, and it probably costs them nothing to produce. So there's a lot of profit in it. And when you look at how much profit either the oil companies that are manufacturing the fuel additives or companies that do this for their main business, there's a lot of money in it. And when you look at how much money they spend on advertising and how much money they spend on marketing, well, they have to recoup it some way. So, do fuel additives damage the engine? No, not really. They don't damage the engine at all. Do they provide any benefit? Well, that really all depends. I have met a number of people, and I've seen people post online how they added this fuel additive and they got better fuel economy and their bike was running better. And then I asked the question, well, how much of that is the placebo effect because you fell for the marketing? And then they get very defensive. That's why I say it's a very contentious subject. So, just don't fall for the marketing. That's the only thing I'm going to say. I would like your thoughts on this. You can leave them in the comments section below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon.
How it's supposed to feel.